Selection of detection wavelength is one of the important parameter during HPLC method development. And I am talking to a very specific while using the UV detector. So what are those parameters that one has to consider before selecting the wavelength? And in this presentation I am going to walk you through the various parameters or the factors one has to consider before finalizing the detection wavelength. So let us begin with the presentation. So the point number one is the interference. So one has to select the wavelength, a detection wavelength, in such a way that the selected wavelength will not give the interference because of the diluent, because of the blank, because of the placebo. I mean, if you just imagine if your selected wavelength gives the interference because of the placebo at the peak of interest, will this wavelength going to be acceptable? It will not be going to be acceptable. I mean, there may be another point of discussion that one can develop a suitable chromatographic conditions so that the interference can get well separated from the principal peak. That will be another topic for discussion. But while it comes to selection of the wavelength, one has to make sure that the selected wavelength must not give the interference at the peak of interest because of the placebo or the diluent. The next point is the optimum response. So what we are going to measure at the end of analysis is the response of the peak of interest. And if the peak of interest doesn't have the optimum response, the required response at the end of analysis, will that analysis be valuable? Will you be able to use that data for quantification? And for that reason, it is very important to understand whether the selected wavelength is able to give the precise, accurate and the linear response to the peak of your interest. So always understand, make sure that whatever wavelength that you are going to select is able to give the precise, accurate and the linear response to the peak of interest. The third point is the baseline noise. I mean, you may have the sufficient response or very good amount of response for the peak of interest, but also look at the baseline noise. Does the baseline gives a very huge amount of noise at the selected wavelength? And the noise may come out of the solvent, the mobile phase that you are using. The noise may come out of the selection of selection of the detection wavelength closer to 200 nanometer. What is that factor that causing the noise? And if you are not able to change the diluent, then what is the alternative? Whether you can select the wavelength such that the noise of the baseline will get further reduced. Identify the possibility of further reducing the noise. Then the consistent response. Now what is meant by consistent response? Now the consistent response means the selected wavelength will have the possibility of giving the different response in case if your detector does not elute the required frequency of the light or the required wavelength of the light. And if there is a slight deviation from the selected wavelength, what is the response that you are getting from the -2 nanometer wavelength and the +2 nanometer wavelength? And to explain this further, let me take the help of a simple diagram. Let me correct it properly. Okay. So now look at the wave, let us say this is the UV spectra you got out of your experiment, and there is a crest and there is a trough you can see on the screen. Now just imagine, look at the cursor. If you select this portion of the spectra as your wavelength I mean, this spectra is at this tip site, and there is a huge change in the response or the absorbance value with the slight change into the wavelength. Now just look at the crest now. So at the tip of the peak, of the tip of the spectra, there will be a minimum change in the response with the change of the wavelength. And hence it is very important that one must understand how to minimize the variation in the response due to slight variation of the emitted wavelength because of the source error or the wavelength accuracy. If it is not good, if your SPLC source or the SPLC light source is not having the stringent wavelength accuracy, you may have to think what is the right wavelength for the detection, so that you will not end up getting a lot of variations because of the slight variation into the wavelength. The next important point is method sensitivity. And when it comes to method sensitivity, here is the important point, that optimum response for principal peak as well as the impurities. Now, it is not only about having the optimum response for principal peak, but if you are dealing with the related substances method, then you have to understand what is the response for the impurities at the selected wavelength. I mean, there may be a case that your API may have the good amount of response for the selected wavelength, but in case if your impurity doesn't give the suitable response to achieve the adequate level of LOD and LOQ, will that wavelength will be acceptable? It will not. And hence it is also important to understand, have a judgmental decision, so that you will have the optimum response not only for the principal peak, but in case of related substances, you will also have the optimum response for the impurities as well. Now let me also walk you through a very simple tutorial, and here is the tutorial for you. So tell me which wavelength you will select for the compound, a sample consisting the three different compounds, compound A, compound B and compound C. So you can see the UV spectra for compound A, compound B and compound C on the screen, and you have to tell me now, which wavelength you are going to select during the method development. And you can put your wavelength number into the comment below, and I would like to see the comment of each and everyone. Right? So thank you very much for watching this video, and I will meet you soon with another video. Thank you and bye bye. Take care.